Hey everyone, this lecture is about logo design and the power of symbols and repetition. So we're on week 4-ish. I don't know what week we're on, but this is about the power of symbols and repetition. So I have a link to this class, this PDF here that I'm going to lecture from, that I no longer am at Napa. But anyway, there's 7 elements of a great business logo. Okay. And so that's what you're doing. You are designing a logo for either a local business in town or something that you've made up your own business, or, and I don't mean make it up, like you have your own business, or you're going to help create a design for a business like your sister's hair, cosmetology, hair salon or whatever. So that's what you're here to do. So you're going to create a logo for a business. Now, your logo is often the first impression customers get of your business. It's the first thing they see. It's the thing they remember. They don't even need it written down. They don't need to, do a QR code. It's the most recognizable thing for branding. Every business has a logo. Every big business has a recognizable, timeless logo. And so you want it to be memorable. What do we mean by that? Well, it's simple. In art school, we say, keep it simple, stupid. And that's the KISS principle. So it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that your logo needs to be complex, but the best logos are often the most simple. Think of Nike, Apple, Target. All 3 brands that have super easy logos, right? And simple logos work because they're easily identifiable and more versatile. Most people will only see your logo in passing, and many of the fine details that will be lost on them. So be wary of trying to include too many elements in your logo. It's memorable. Why is it memorable? How is it memorable? Just because your logo should be simple doesn't mean it should be boring. The most effective logos have one unique feature that makes them memorable and easily stand out to viewers. A good way to determine whether or not your logo is memorable is to ask one of your customers to describe it to you. If they have a hard time explaining what it looks like, your logo could probably use some work. That's a great one. It's timeless. Think of the Coca-Cola logo. Coca-Cola's logo has been there forever, but Pepsi has changed time and time again. You also want your logo to be timeless, so it should be relevant to what's going on today, but not so trendy that it will quickly become outdated. If you look at companies that have been around for a long time, like Coca-Cola, you'll notice they've had the same logo for years or decades. The Twinings tea logo has had the same logo since 1887, making it the world's oldest unaltered logo. And the McDonald's logo is famous for its golden arches, which has been revamped several times over the years, but has been part of the company's design since 1968, right? And these are just, this has been around for over 100 years. This has been around since the 50s, the golden arches. There's even a name for the logo. That's how smart they were about their design. So you'll want to create a logo that will look good and retain its integrity no matter where it's being used. So make sure it's relevant. That's another one. Your logo should also be relevant to your business and industry in some way. If you run an auto dealership, that doesn't mean your logo has to include an actual car. But when customers look at your logo, they should understand how it represents the company. If your logo includes an icon, it could represent some aspect of your company or its history. For instance, the Starbucks siren, right? It doesn't have anything to do with coffee, but it represents the company's origins. And it was ripped off from Nordic mythology art. So completely ripped off, but we know that Starbucks logo. It's the mermaid, right? There are 2 big connections between Starbucks and the seafaring world. Our hometown of Seattle, I used to live in Seattle, so this is from there. And it's on the Puget Sound, so that's where Starbucks comes from, is their hometown, right? So they wanted something that was water-like, and they wanted a strong connection to water. And then the coffee often traveled long distances on water. So that's why it has that kind of mermaid vibe, Viking mermaid vibe. Here's the evolution of the Starbucks logo and its iconic impact on logo design. Yeah, so the original Starbucks is right in Pike Place in Seattle, where the market is. This is the only Starbucks that exists that still has this logo, the old school logo. And then it evolved, and now it's just that, right? And I think it's even beyond that now. It's even less. So it has high quality typography. The typography you choose should communicate a lot about your brand to customers. Choosing the right font can communicate likability, whereas the wrong font could communicate distrust and negative connotations. So in general, it's best to choose simple and easy to read fonts. Serif fonts are a more traditional choice and communicate reliability, while sans serif fonts are more modern. Make sure only to use one or two fonts so your logo doesn't look cluttered. Right? Here's a reminder. Here's what a sans serif font looks like. All digital devices and everything, computer, all of that, all the typography on that are all sans serif fonts because they're easier to read. And then this is the serif font that has the little dealy bobs, I call them, on the edges here. And it looks like it was chiseled out in the old times, right? That's when you know the difference between a serif and a sans serif font. So make sure it contains the appropriate colors. Color is often a subconscious effect on our behavior and is commonly used by marketers to influence buying decisions. So here's some colors you can include in your logo and what they represent. Blue communicates honesty, trust, and reliability. Green communicates balance, health, and knowledge. Red communicates excitement, love, and anger. Ooh. Yellow communicates adventure, happiness, and enthusiasm. White communicates order and cleanliness. So make sure then it's versatile as well. Finally, you want your logo to be versatile and capable of being used in many different contexts, right? You're not just going to slap a logo on your website and forget about it. You want to make sure it'll look good on social media. It'll look good small. It'll look good big. It'll look good on a t-shirt. It'll look good on a hat. It'll look good on a mug, right? So if you want to sell things with this logo, you need to make sure it's versatile. And then make sure, symbols have power. As simplistic as a symbol can be, it can be loaded with symbolism, right? I mean, all you need to do is look at it. I mean, think about hieroglyphs in ancient times. Here we go. This is ancient silver coin from Cyrene. I'm assuming that's Greek. It's a heart-shaped seed, fruit of Silphylium. Here's a Roman manuscript, right? It's the symbolism there. There's the heart again, the Sacred Heart of Jesus. I mean, it is loaded. The heart means a lot. So think about symbols. What does the heart represent? What does a dagger represent? And the law of repetition. So design is not an isolated practice. It intertwines with various other fields, one of them being psychology. A psychological principle that plays a fundamental role in design is the law of repetition. Repetition reinforces recall. So repeated elements are more likely to be remembered, thus guiding the attention and focus of the viewer. Repetition could be harnessed to guide behavior and understanding. The more we see a symbol or logo, the more familiar we become with it. A well-known symbol or logo can transcend time and become loaded with meaning like the heart. So it is important to keep your logo simple, memorable, timeless, and relevant. That way, through the law of repetition, your viewer instantly recognizes your company as soon as they see your logo. Okay, that is all of the lecture for this week. And I can't wait to see your designs. Okay, have a good one, guys.